We're live, we're live.
I can't say anything.
No voice.
On right one.
Yes, the small one. 190. And you go hand in first.
190.
Emmanuel, so you can put you will you already on the shelf.
Yes.
So I can pay for it.
Hi everybody. Welcome to another episode of Oche Kitchen Discussions. Thank you for tuning in. If you like us, share us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also hit the notification channel or button rather. I'm going to start today with IJ's Nutri Tips. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start today with IJ's Nutri Tips. And for today, I'm going to talk about preparing for pregnancy. So before we prepare for everything, but most times we just, get pregnant. So for the young girls or the anybody who is looking to get pregnant, make sure you start taking your folic acid before you start planning about pregnancy. Because folic acid prevents you from having, from the baby having neural tube defects, which is called one I'm familiar with. My son has a spinal bifida. So because folic acid helps with the DNA synthesis and the brain. So that's what forms. So please make sure you take your folic acid. Make sure you have a healthy weight to begin with, because most times when you're overweight or obese, you might be at risk for GDM, which is gestational diabetes. So, which is diabetes you get during pregnancy. And most times, if you get GDM, you might end up getting it later in life. And the third one is eat a healthy diet. So please, guys, before you start thinking about pregnancy, folic acid, healthy weight, and eat healthy. So the topic for today is sex. Is it a deal breaker? So I know so many people have been asking, what do you mean sex? Is it a deal breaker? I follow this podcast, and I heard about the story, so I'm going to share it here. The podcast is Cruise Seasons on YouTube. So the story goes like this. A lady wrote in, and she said, and her story goes like this. I met a man who always treated me like I wanted. He helps me out with my 3 kids. So she has 3 kids before she met this man, right? He helps me out with my 3 kids and helps me out with bills. But the problem is the sex is horrible. It's really bad. I've tried to enjoy him, but really, really can't. My baby daddy puts it down, as in they do the sex very well. My baby daddy puts it down, but he's for the streets. He even have 2 ladies pregnant for him right now. And I know he's not good for me, but because we have 3 kids together, I know I can sleep with him anytime, even though I know he's not good for me because he cannot be in a committed relationship. My current guy is always talking about our future, even marriage. And I know he'll make a great husband, but I'm not sure I can deal with terrible sex for the rest of my life. And there isn't much to be done because he's not all that big, for lack of better words. What should I do? So apparently she's with this guy who is everything. And there's one problem, which is the sex is really bad. And apart from the sex is really bad, the guy has a little D. So the question I'll ask the ladies first. My first question will be for the ladies: is bad sex a deal breaker, even when he's a good dude? So let me ask Adibeli, are you there?
Oh,
Did you hear the story? Did you hear
I heard the story, but why me? Yeah.
No, we want to ask the ladies first. Then I know some guys complain that
Yeah.
that they have bad sex with ladies. So, but I want to start because this is a lady who called in. So I want to know, like, for us, do you think sex is the if somebody gives you everything but the sex is bad, you think you say no?
He can
And
give
explain, please.
he can give every. I have to be very honest. I'm sorry. That doesn't make me a bad person. He can give everything. He could be rich, give me money, everything. But that, even if I wanted to keep him, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be faithful. Because that
I will say the same thing too. It's going to
it's
be
a
difficult.
priority for me.
It's gonna be difficult.
The other side, I can't. I won't be faithful. I have to satisfy myself outside. Sorry. That's
So
my own take.
okay, all right. Zuchis, can you take it?
Different strokes for different folks, So some people may want to. Sex is not the ultimate for them. So this guy does everything for her. So she may want to stay. Well, in this story, I'm not sure if she wants to really stay because she's looking for, what do you call it? She's looking for solutions, looking for ideas or people's opinions, but she's the only one who can decide for herself what she wants. So if the guy
putting yourself in her shoes, what would you do?
Oh, it's a hard one. It's really a hard one, but it all depends on how compatible we are, honestly. Like I said, sex is not the ultimate. So that goodness might overshadow it. There are different ways, you can compensate your partner. Honestly, there's so many ways you can, compensate where there is a lack. So hopefully, if I
But
were
the
to
compensation can be, some people are into foreplay, others just want the kitty bam bam. So it depends on what she wants. If you're not this foreplay kind of person, but you want the kitty bam bam, it's going to be difficult for you.
That's exactly why I said different folks. For me, if there are ways we can compensate the lack, we can do that if I find myself in that situation. Yeah.
I did a video. I don't know how many of you are familiar with IJ Rants. There's a page on Facebook, IJ Rants. I made a video about like, will I stay 60 days or 90 days before having sex with somebody, or should I do it immediately? I say I'll do it immediately, because if you ain't going to walk, I'd rather walk and everything. Like, for me, sex is a very big deal for me. So I don't think, unless I depend on him financially, which is not even, I don't even want to depend on anybody like that. So I would, if I have my own money, I would rather walk and than. So Ataibo, thank you, Suchis. Auntie, can you talk?
Yeah, I just joined in now. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I know, I see you. Okay,
Hello.
I'm gonna read this thing. I'm gonna read this thing for you so that I need your take on this. This girl wrote in, I met a man who always treated me like I wanted. He helps me out with 3 kids and helps me out with bills, but the problem is the sex is horrible. It's really bad. I have tried to enjoy him, but really can't. My baby daddy puts it down, but he's for the streets. He even have 2 ladies pregnant for him right now, and I know he's not good for me, but because we have 3 kids together, I can sleep with him anytime, even though I know he's not good for me because he cannot be in a committed relationship. My current guy is always talking about our future, even marriage, and I know he will make a great husband, but I'm not sure I can deal with terrible sex for the rest of my life. And there isn't much to be done because he's not that big, for lack of better words. What should I do? So for you, putting yourself in this lady's shoes, what do you think you can, what would you do in her shoes?
I will get myself a second job and leave the man, because I can't, because I would cheat on him and I don't want to cheat on him. So I'm not going to stay with him because of the money. Okay. If I like sex and I enjoy sex, I want to enjoy with somebody I will be with. So if I've got 3 children, for me to have 3 children, I should have some form of financial commitment to these children. Exactly. If the job I have is not enough, I can't get a better job or get a second job, but I won't stay with him because of the money, because that's not fair. That's not being fair to him. Yeah, and I will let him know why. I'll say I like you, but I don't want to cheat on you.
Yeah.
But because I know people that are married to, okay, maybe not to non-Nigerians, and their partners have said to them, I know I can't satisfy you sexually. I don't mind you doing it outside, but just don't let me know.
Yes.
They've told them that. So if it's something that's agreeable by both partners, then that's fine. But personally, I won't want to stay with such a person.
Me too. And it's possible it's because he knows that he can't, maybe that's why he's so too nice,
That's a possibility too, yeah.
You never know. All right. Let's ask the guys. Ben, you want to take it?
What's the question?
The question is it
No,
sex,
the question now.
is bad
The
sex
question now.
a deal breaker for you?
The question now should be. I think the question for the guys now should be rephrased, because
No,
now
it's something. It's something for the woman who doesn't, who has, like can't put it down. Like, is it a deal breaker? Because guys complain too that some girls can do this, some girls can do that. So.
Well, to me, I think most of what we are saying that somehow it is dependent on two factors. If you are involved with somebody and you know there are areas where he or she is lacking, there's still this room of teaching. Teach each other. Teach him what to do. Teach her what to do. If you think you are the guru here, teach the other party what to do. Everybody learns.
Atabo, why are you laughing at Benson?
Everybody learns. Teach the other party what to do.
But for some things are physical that you can't even. Some things are like how your body is made. There's nothing you can do about it. Your body,
as long as it has to do with this, no one is perfect in this game. You know what you want, and you know how to communicate it back to your partner. This is the way to do this, and I'll be all right. When you teach the person will learn. That's just mine. Teach the person.
Okay. So how did you want the question rephrased for the guys? Can you say that again?
No. It's okay. He essentially said the question is the same thing for the guys.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
in as far as is cements the marriage and everything. Yes, but what the other party don't know, teach the person. Or if it's touched, tell the person this is the way you touch me. That'll be fine.
Yeah. Because the reason why guys complain, they cheat a lot. They say, "Oh, my wife says she's always tired. My wife, she's some people say she has body odor." So it might be for the men, that might be like a deal breaker for them too. So let me ask another. Ifeoma, did you want to say anything?
I want to say something to Benson. Benson, in terms of cheating, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm not on camera at the moment. I'll come on shortly. Ben, in terms of teaching, there are people who would not want to learn for several reasons. Could be for religious reasons. How do you manage that?
That's the person's problem. The person you are talking about there is your wife. No matter what.
I know, and she doesn't want to go put her head down there because religiously, no, I wouldn't have this in my mouth. How would you manage that? And that is what you want.
And that
how
is
long
what
do you stand it?
Well, like I said, there is always a price to pay for anything.
Can you end because of that? That's a big question.
You said?
End the relationship just because there are things you want in bed and she does not want to do it.
No, I can't end it.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So it's not a deal breaker.
That's for me. I can't.
So it's not a deal breaker for you.
No, I can't end it. No.
All right. So let's ask another guy. Wilson, are you there? Can you talk? Wilson.
I think Aikabas is online as well. I'm sure.
Opugo. I wanted to cut. He left just immediately. I was about to call his name. Yeah.
Can I talk?
Yes, Eze. I was coming to you because I'm looking for the next guy. Okay. Hi, Eze. Hi, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Did you hear the story? Thank you. You were.
I've had your very selfish story.
Selfish.
Can I? First of all, the relationship could be marriage or non-marriage relationship. Different rules apply.
Exactly.
If you're married, the reason for marriage is not essentially sex. I'm talking as a guy now, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A guy will get sex. Sex is available everywhere.
Hey,
Do you want the truth or do you want the correct
It is the
answer?
truth. So
Truth,
no,
go
keep
ahead.
coming, keep coming. It's on our total.
Do you want the truth? If you
Yes,
want the
yes,
truth,
go
I'm
ahead.
going to give you the
Keep
truth.
going, keep going,
Go
keep
ahead.
going.
If you want the correct answer of massaging the truth, that's your problem.
No,
But
no,
I'm
no, no,
telling
no,
you
no,
the
no.
truth.
We don't want to. Keep going.
You don't need marriage to have sex. From Adam till now, you don't need marriage for sex.
Good.
So you have to marry. If you're marrying for other reasons beyond sex. If your husband, if your wife is no longer the 22 or 26 or 29 or 35 or 40-year-old sex partner you had, you're not going to leave the marriage. It doesn't happen. But it looks like the women have different rules anyway. That's their own wahala. If you are going to leave your husband because he wasn't eating your pussy, that's a different rule. That's your own rule. Because he refuses to eat pussy, you are no longer going to stay married with him. That's a different rule. Good luck to you. Now, we've talked about marriage. Marriage is beyond sex. If the sex ends in a marriage or between the couple, the marriage does not end. Because the companionship part is different from the sex. The responsibility to the children and to each other when you are getting old, going into the twilight of your years, is beyond sex. Most men have their sexual height between 18 and towards 38. After that, it's going downhill. When you're like, I get anything different, it's lying. When you are 18, you don't have as much sex because whose daughter are you going to be fucking at 18? How many boys at 18 have money for a show regularly, except the boys who grew up in Omaya? After that, I'm coming. After, by the time you finish school, 28, 30, you have started earning money. You can now afford the sex. You can, because you can have money to chase girls or buy it. But your sex drive is going down. You have started going down. By the time you add the responsibility of bringing up children and work life, it's also going further down. Unfortunately, as it's going down, if your wife is not working, her own is going up. If she's sitting at home or doing a PhD or looking after children, her sex drive is going up, especially with the internet and her watching other of her friends and colleagues using vibrators and getting a good time. Her own is going up and she's expecting more from you, but you can't deliver, man. If you can't deliver, you can't deliver. So
Mr. Eze, we have two other questions that we're going to ask. I have 2 minutes. So you're saying sex is not a deal breaker for you?
For marriage,
for
marriage, yes. Yes, for marriage.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sorry, IJ, he says for marriage is not a deal breaker.
A deal breaker, but for single,
relationship, for a side chick, or when you had a girlfriend, is it a deal breaker?
Yes.
Okay, for a side chick, for a side or a chick before marriage, it's definitely no. It's definitely
your girlfriend. You're dating somebody. I
didn't have the advantage of dating only one person. At each time, I'll probably be dating 3 or 4. So if you don't get from A, you get from B. Ho-ha. Then after
I bow down to you, Eze. I bow down.
No, he is indeed an Eze.
Yeah. You want Eze.
After you marry, there is no commitment in side chicks. There's no commitment or business. You work today, you work with another person tomorrow. Simple and short. Sorry.
Thank you for that. I like that. Ike Abasi, thank you so much. Ike Abasi. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, how are you? Welcome to the show. Can you I have like 2 minutes to encroach in Oje's time. Oje, please, apologies, but I want Ike to answer this. Did you hear the story before you went out the first time?
Yes, I heard the story.
Okay, okay, for you as a guy, is sex a deal breaker? Explain. If me and you are putting it down and I can't raise leg, I can't do anything, is it a deal breaker? Or I have body odor?
There's other questions that I find very funny for someone to ask. And this is one of them. When you say sex is a deal breaker. For a guy, yeah, sex is a deal breaker. What are you talking about?
I'm not a guy, so I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. For guys, yeah, sex is a deal breaker. Let's just be honest about that. That's for sure. Except if
he has money.
The man has a problem. If you are impotent, you have erectile dysfunction or something. Yes, well, then sex is not a deal breaker for you. But for a normal, average man, yes, it is. It is a deal breaker in the sense that if you don't get in one, you get in two.
Okay.
Right?
So there's no way you meet a girl, you like her so much, she has everything, she has money, she has good character, she can cook, but she can't do. So for you, she gotta
go. So you see that, look, you see, that's where conversations come in. That's where communication come in.
Yeah.
The lady you talked about, she sat down with this potential guy who's all the thing and then can't do this particular thing. Has she sat down to talk with him, communicate with him and say, listen, I can't deal with this. I like you so much, but how can we work around this? Can we work around it? Is this something we can do? You know what I'm saying? So if I see a lady and she has all the values and everything I want and won't do that one, then I have to have a conversation with her. I have to sit her down and say, listen, I can deal with this, but I can't deal with this one. So how do we work around it? How do we make it work? If she's willing, because if she knows within herself, some women are frigid. I don't know if you don't understand. The women are frigid.
I heard, yeah.
They can't deal. And she's willing to
allow me, we're very frigid, yeah.
Allow that one aspect. And she's comfortable with that and saying, okay, listen, I want to keep you and we can work it out, then for sure, why not? But I'm going to be lying to myself and for everyone else to say, okay, she has all that. And because she uses the other one, I'm going to say, okay, I will stick with her and all that. Well, and I won't go out. That's not true now. You are lying. You know that.
True. And some people lie. And some people lie to themselves.
So you have that honest conversation and sit down and say, listen, most of us don't want to have this kind of hard conversations. Sit down with the person. And do you know one thing? I found out that when you do have that conversation, it might be hard, but it will put everybody in that same page. And if
it might kill the person's would you help me? What's the English? It might kill your confidence, So
but there's not like confidence there when the person knows there's a problem. The man knows his destiny is small. He knows he probably has an issue with that, or he knows he cannot perform. Sit down with him and in a very compassionate way, talk about it and try and find a solution around it. But to say that you will go into a relationship because he does everything for you and pretend like the other aspect doesn't matter, you are lying.
That's fraud. It's fraud, Very fraud. Fraud. All right, thank you so much. Oche, I apologize. I took 3 minutes from your time. Ben, wait for your wife. Oche, I apologize. Unless you want Ben to. So I took 3 minutes from my time. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Before I take my part, Benson, please go ahead and say what you wanted to say.
No, I had 2 questions for Ike, but just go ahead. No problem. Maybe.
Okay.
No.
Okay. You ask at the
We'll talk later. Just go ahead with your time.
Okay, that's fine. So my CLO moment for today is very straightforward. It says date, and choose to date your partner every day. Sex is only a bonus. And no, I won't be explaining. So going straight to the question, do you think this lady in the story is ungrateful? And what would be your advice to her? I'm going to ask Ekene Okoye.
Sorry, please, Oche.
Ekene is always in a bow.
Can you give us a summary of the story? Because some of us just summarize it. So we can...
All right, Zupis. Okay, Oche, you want to go? Go ahead.
Okay. The story is there's this lady that has 3 kids. Okay, and the guy she's with now is very sweet, very comfortable, does everything she wants and treats her like a lady, treats her the way she wants. But the problem is that he can perform. Maybe, I don't know if it is to her standard or in fact, she says the sex is horrible. Okay, that's the summary. Sex is horrible. Kids can do and undo on the bed, but he's a street guy. And at the moment, 2 people are pregnant for him. So she knows that the father of her kids is not for her. She doesn't want that kind of life. But at the same time, she says this guy is so serious that he's even talking marriage. But she doesn't want that. She's not having any of it. Because she says that sex, I'm not going to marry you. So my question is, do you think she's ungrateful? How would you advise such a person? When a is done answering me, I would like you to answer.
Whose phone is? Whose background is? I'm trying to mute. Is it for my mom? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, Akene. I had asked you to take the question for me.
Akene is always in a bow.
Ah, okay then. So Uzo, would you like to answer?
I would not say she's ungrateful. One of the reasons for marriage is sex is top on the list too.
That's 60 to 70%.
Yeah, because your sister or you can get a domestic staff that can do other things for you, but you can't sleep with your domestic staff. So if you're thinking marriage, unless you want to decide that since you can't do, maybe you get gadgets and do that, but gadget is not a human being. So exactly. She's not ungrateful. If sex is important to her,
exactly,
it's a deal breaker. Yeah, unless because that's what leads a lot of people to go outside. So
what would you advise her to do? You would advise her to walk?
Yeah, if it's top on her list, yeah, she can walk. She can get another guy that has the same package too, and that can satisfy her sexually. So, yeah.
Okay.
You don't think she's ungrateful to be taking the guy's money and everything?
No, they're in a relationship.
No. You mean leaving the guy? I'm not taking that. You don't eat a man's money if you're not going to settle with the person. So she can leave the guy. That doesn't mean she's ungrateful. She can get another guy.
She's enjoying all the man's material and other support.
No, that's
talking
wrong.
rubbish
that's
about
wrong.
the guys.
Oche, somebody wants a couple of people wants the story to be repeated. Let me repeat it if you don't mind. Do you mind? Okay, let me repeat the story. The story is I met a man who always treated me like I wanted. He helps me out with my 3 kids and helps me out with bills. But the problem is the sex is horrible. It's really bad. I have tried to enjoy him, but really can't. My baby daddy puts it down, but he's for the streets. He even have 2 ladies pregnant for him right now. And I know he's not good for me. But because we have 3 kids together, I know I can sleep with him anytime. Even though I know he's not good for me because he cannot be in a committed relationship. My current guy is always talking about our future, even marriage. And I know he will make a great husband, but I'm not sure I can deal with terrible sex for the rest of my life. And there isn't much to be done because he's not that big, for lack of better words. What should I do? So I'm with Zoppies now. Yeah.
Oh, it's like Ekene wants to say something now.
Okay. I don't think she's ungrateful if you ask me. She's trying to be realistic and she's struggling with it. So she's trying to be realistic, and the realistic thing to do is work. Yeah. Like Ataba said, get a second job.
Yes, can I go ahead?
I think, please.
Okay, Bros.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening. How are you? Hi. Welcome back.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, yeah.
No, I was here last week.
You were here last week? Oh,
he was at the barber shop, but he couldn't say anything.
Okay.
Okay. The question of ingratitude shouldn't even come in this. A guy is nice and all of that, but you might find even that guy that's probably inadequate for her might be very suitable for somebody else. So you probably are not compatible. There's no need staying in a marriage that will be devoid of action that you derive from sex for the rest of your life because you want to be grateful for small perks. If you get married, I see a woman becoming unfaithful in that union. So why go into such a marriage?
That's
my own advice would be take a walk before it gets even too serious. Explain to you guys. Look, I would have loved to. In fact, you make a wonderful husband, but this is a deal breaker for me. I can't live with this for the rest of my life. And everybody goes unhappy. So that's my take on this. I don't see on this at all.
Thank you. Okay, Eze, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. See, I think we set different standards for different for the males, and then different standards for the females.
I'll talk.
Are we going to also accept this situation, assuming it's reversed and it's a male complaining about this for a woman who is doing a lot for her too, for him too?
Yeah, I got about two male presenters, guests said no. That is a deal breaker for them. Yeah, I got about
his question is, Ez's question is, if the reverse was the case.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. Whoever that gets it goes. It's not negotiable. Yeah, you can plead.
Okay,
and maybe
but
I asked the girls first, and I asked the guys. Yeah,
my opinion. You know, you started by saying that there are two standards. Yeah, there are two standards because in a typical Nigerian marriage, that's what I can use because most of us here are Nigerians. Men go outside because we're talking about side chicks. All these side chicks are married men that have side chicks. Married women, they don't have side guys. It's not expected that you have side guys. You understand? So the standard
married women have side guys. Don't say that. It's not rare. It's not rare.
But it's
you
not
can
accepted
say for yourself, but
no,
the same saying, number of
it's not rare. It's not rare.
It's not rare.
It's rare. It's not for you to be known.
Somebody checking the table.
In fact, more married women are playing than married men. So
Bam.
Okay,
I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you 100%.
It's 100%. 90%. If 90% of married men are playing, 95% of married women are playing.
But they're not caught, so it's not accepted.
You guys hide better now. You hide better.
We score. You mean we are better scorers than you guys.
You
play the game better than
you
you
hide
guys.
better. When the man
most men are not busy searching phones and all that. Most men are not busy doing that.
A man will come back.
FBI. So
a man who comes back from such an activity will be tired. A woman who does even 3 times what the man has done will come out and clean out, and you will not know.
Very energetic.
So leave that one.
Because women have.
They don't put in as much effort as what the men put into the activity. Check it out.
Because we have the backup and another backup to backup and backup to backup the backup. But you guys just do.
So the point I want to make is both sexes are unfaithful. Saying you are going to leave a relationship because of the size of the man's dick. There are people who are unfaithful even when the sex is good. So
it's probably for school fees. It's probably for school fees.
Okay, you have to justify everything as long as the woman involved. Okay. Men are not more unfaithful than women. There is nothing in the body of a man that makes a man more promiscuous than a woman. Nothing.
Say that again. What? Say that again. Nothing in the body.
There is nothing in the physiology of a man that is not also present in the physiology of a woman. So if men are unfaithful, women are also unfaithful because it's the same creation. The women hide their sexual drive more in societies where they are not economically empowered.
So Ozak was right saying, answering you that there's a double standard, that things men do and is acceptable, when women do it is not acceptable. That's what Ozak was
because the women have arranged the thing in such a way that the men are always feeling guilty even when they are doing nothing.
The ones stifling for women. There are things women are not allowed to do.
Exactly.
Back in the day, women cannot even, it's like you said, there's no difference in
The
the
physiology.
the way the man feels he wants to be held and cuddled and all that. That is also the way the women feel. But when she feels that way and she comes to hold the man, it's wahala. You know,
if you hold another man now, they usually hold another man. If you don't hold your husband, hold another one. There are plenty.
Okay.
University, undergraduates, everywhere.
Let me help you. Today I was watching.
I think I'll be holding this my questions. I think I need to ask these questions. Let's get certain things cleared.
Go ahead, Benson.
Now, I've heard the issue of being small or being too big. My question is this.
Being too big.
Wait, my question is this. Did he create himself?
God bless you, Gary.
Did he create himself?
No.
There is always a purpose for everything.
You are the man. You are the man.
Now, my second
what of
question.
the women that are too wide? What of the women that are too large?
My second question. My second question.
What of the women that are too large?
My second question. My second question. Whenever we talk about this, I have a question. Is it land or is it inborn? So why are we making things that are not easy?
Let me help you. It's not how.
Oh, Ekene is not in the bar today. I help us.
I like the way men are helping each other here.
I'm telling you. The commander.
For too long, you guys have given the impression that men are the only guilty party. For too long.
No, but we reversed the question, and you said it was a deal breaker for you, and somebody else said it was a deal breaker. So it was, you know what I mean? We asked the female first. A woman wrote in. That's why I the question was asked. No,
IJ. I was watching a show. What did the question? A lady was brought by her boyfriend for divorce court for DNA test on their child. She had the boyfriend is saying that the child belongs to the husband. She left the husband. The husband left the husband and is cohabiting with her boyfriend and is pushing the child on the boyfriend. And the husband is there as a witness. So,
wow.
It is the society we live in. You were talking about back home in Africa, yes, because of the way the society is built. Many women hide away from all this. People don't want to have this kind of talk. I keep saying it. Communication is very important.
Very important.
We never talk about these things. So couples never talk. Have you ever seen your father and your mother sit down and talk about those kind of things? Never. Because they were brought up not to discuss these things. These things were meant to be in the bedroom between the two of them. But those who have
it kills marriages.
It does because you ask a lot of people back home, do they know what orgasm is? Many of them don't know. They never experienced it because of the fact that society
they hear it in songs.
Yeah, it's why it takes it that. It's like when you're dating a girl. Back then, if you're dating a girl and she wants it too much, you think she's a show.
Exactly.
You think she's a show. If the girl proposes a new star, you are saying, where did you learn this one? So people hid. But if you're talking about faithfulness, it is both sexes. Women do it a lot. That's why I practiced as a medical lab scientist back home. I had labs. I had two offices. And let me tell you this. A large proportion I've had instances where the man would run tests, and the child would not belong to him. The woman is looking at the man would be like, kuro, kuro. I had a man faint in my office because we found out in doing a genotype, found out that 3 of his children are not his.
But that one is meanness.
Yeah, but that's it. You're talking about
common. It's very common though.
It's very common, and this is Naba. Many. I had a young guy who came in. He has no sperm cells at all, but he has 4 kids.
Oh, wow.
No sperm cells. There's no way. Because he came in looking for more children. He was the only son. So he's looking for more children.
He wants more children.
Yes. But when he came in to run a test, we ran a semen analysis, he had no sperm cells. None. When I privately accosted the wife, she confessed, was begging me not to say anything. I said, what God has put together, let me no man put asunder. But I said, if your husband keeps finding out, keep asking questions, he'll find out eventually. Well, 6 months down the line, the man came back to me because I told the man that there's nothing wrong with both of them. 6 months, he came back later, thanking me that the wife is 3 months pregnant again.
You don't do that.
So the truth of the matter is that both, but what I'm talking about in this particular case is communication. If you see somebody down and talk with them,
bro, you gotta keep it professional.
No, yeah, so yes, you have to. I can't do that.
Bo association kind
But
of here.
what I'm saying is this: communication is a big part of it. Can you sit down with your person? Many of us who are married now, how many times we sit down with our couple? How many wives go and tell their husband, look, this you've been doing for a number of years, they do me, look at the way I want to. Many, we don't have that conversation. We don't. The women don't have those conversations. They won't want to. They will think it's an ego thing. The man won't want to talk, or they won't talk to the husband because it will cause problem, it will cause quarrel. But if people are two, and that's why everybody will not, I tell you why, the woman will have a side bubble where they give her, they complain again. That's why if a man has a woman who's complaining every time, and also all of a sudden she stops complaining, she don't get her.
He's happy so well.
He's coming. I do agree with you on the issue of communication. Everything in life should be talked over. Everything. No matter the minutest thing, talk about it. It will help you.
All right, Ben, let me answer your question. You asked, the man did not create himself, right? Fine. But like Ufoma said, for every man, there's a woman for him,
Good.
and vice versa.
I agree.
Yeah, so even if you're big, some women cannot take big. Good. I know friends that cannot take big, and I've met a couple of friends that like it as tiniest as something because that's okay for them. So you just have to keep looking to
which is different strokes.
Yeah, different strokes. Then your second question, you asked if it's length, and I think it's both. Some people from the first time they know how to rock the boat and how to do everything.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, and some people need to learn.
Is learned. Is not inborn.
Yeah, learning is you learn every day. No matter what you know, you keep learning. We learn every day. But some people from day one, they'll know what they're doing. Some people need, Ifoma is better versed in that, so Ifoma can explain better.
I will do that in due course.
Quite clearly.
So okay. Ifoma, take this.
Go ahead.
Oche, are you done? You want Ifoma to take it away? Ifoma, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I got a bit of interruption here. Sorry about that.
But Ifoma is more versed in this.
Yeah, that's why.
You have to explain that.
Why you believe that?
As my bestie. As my bestie, I know. Okay, at least I'm good in making t-shirts.
I'll ask the third question. And you know what I'm good at. Can I ask the last question? Then we'll carry on with the same question. We've said a lot of things, and we've talked about sizes. We've talked about learning. We've talked about communication. I think before we leave here today, if it's not coming from Benson, it could come from any other person who can tell us how to start this communication. What, if you guys think that women are not talking, what do we say? How do we start that conversation? It could be that we don't know what to say or what questions to ask. So don't forget, you must give us a clue. And the last question is in all of this, we talked about men who has this, that. So my affirmation for today is, Fifi's affirmation is, don't forget that you're
because I think the African society will find ourselves kind of inhibit women most times from expressing.
Hold on, Repet. Hold on, thank you. Don't forget that you're human. It's okay to have a meltdown. And meltdown could come from what we're talking about today, when you're being booted because you cannot be you.
They do.
Just don't unpack and leave there. Cry it out and then refocus on where you are headed. And that takes me to the last question of the day. And that question is simply, do you think a man could be good on paper, could be an intellect, has it all, has a swag, charisma, persona, and be a protector? Can we have all of this in one person?
I can start.
Ati, you're shaking your head.
Somebody said she can start.
I can start. I will start by saying, the communication part. I think it even starts from the beginning of the relationship. I think both sexes, we should learn to talk even before marriage. You have to talk about sex. You have to say what you want and what you like, and you can learn anything. There's so much material outside. You can talk about it, even in marriage, and even while you are at it, when you are making love, you can tell your spouse what you like and what you don't like. And
like if Oma will push the head down.
Yes, and it's possible to find everything you need in a man, at least to a percentage. If the person is not close-minded and the person can listen to you and try to make the
close-minded is a good word.
Changes, so it's possible to get it.
Also, we can't get it 100%. You say we can get it to a percentage, right?
Yeah, percentage. Like that's what they call pass mark in JAMB now. If you get 60, that's pass mark. Yeah. Or even if you get 50 and you work on it and it gets to 75.
But that's not 100% still. Okay.
Yeah, you can't get 100% all the traits. You cannot. No. It's only Jesus that has it. I don't know about the sexual part. So you can't get it in a man. Nobody is perfect. We're not perfect. So
communication is key. If the answer to your question, but sometimes there's a communication breakdown. You start a relationship and you think you're communicating with your partner, then it ends in marriage. All of a sudden, you can't talk. You can't say most things you want to say. Because most times you say it's like you're committing a sin.
Exactly.
You understand? So that's the breakdown in communication. And that's where your question comes. How do we start it? How do we reconstruct? Because we were constructing before and we were making headway when we started our relationship. But in the midst of the relationship that has ended in marriage, there's a breakdown. So for the guys, where do we restart?
Can I?
Someone let you can now. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's something with this, and I found out it happens to all of us. Relationships at the beginning, when we are courting, dating and all that, it's always good and all that. And the children come along, then life happens. But I always say this: no matter how life goes on, you should, after you live with somebody for a long time, know his mumu button.
Exactly.
You should know his mumu button. When I say mumu button, there's a time that no matter who that person is, if you marry that person and live with that person long enough, you know when. For example, my dad, when I was going to university, to ask my dad money, the guy go back at you in the morning. What do you use the money? Hey, you ask question. One day, my dad, with all his education, he does snuff. He snuffs. So you guys know what snuff is, right?
Yeah, I want.
Yes. So one of the days I went to his room to ask him for money, and he was in the washroom snuffing. And I said, Dad, I was afraid, but I said, let me ask him. I asked him for money. The man just said, okay. Well, how much do you say you need? I told him. He said, okay, go to the drawer there. The drawer beside the bed, pull it.
Because he was distracted, he snuffing.
So that didn't work for that day. The next time I needed money, I waited for him to be in the same position. And I went in again. And it happened. He gave me the money. My siblings were all wondering, how did I make that happen? How did I make my father give me money? Me, I discovered the secret. I never told them.
Hey,
when I get money, I'll go. Wait for him in there. And he never failed to work. Because that was his mumu time.
Mumu button.
So when you know the mumu button of your wife or your husband, wait for that mumu time and ask him. And not do it in a condensing or how do I call it? In an accusatory way.
Condescending way, yeah.
Do it in a way that you know that you find out what the result will be. That's the start. That's the start. And then if you have that conversation, and at that moment time, the guy will listen to you. And most often than not, at that moment time, he will begin to implement that which will make you happy. And vice versa. That's my own thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, your hand is up. You want to say something?
Why are you asking if you can get 100% in men? Can you give 100% as a woman yourself?
The
answer is no.
Yes, you can. Yes, we can.
No, you cannot. I am a woman.
You get brain. You get breast. You get Please let me speak.
Nobody now. Why party now? That's only 3 needles. Breast.
Please let me speak, Ifoma. I'm a superwoman. I'm beautiful. I'm gorgeous. I've got money. I'm everything. But I am not 100% all the time. So I don't put that kind of pressure on men. Because what I can't do, I don't want men to do it. You know, every man or woman has their good time and their bad times. You know, everybody's talking about communication. If they do not do you, just go. All this communication, we're just trying to be polite to each other. If he's not doing, because if someone is not satisfying, you know. And if they don't know, you tell them, you write them a letter, you send them a text. End of story. You know,
so Ati, what would you expect? You said something you can do. You can what, like if you're looking, if Ifoma help me. You know what I want to ask?
Ifoma help her.
Like you said something like you don't expect somebody to do what you don't have. So what do you like? Can you explain that?
She cannot give 100%.
She can't give 100% all the time.
Yeah. So for you, what is it in a man that you don't expect them to do because you can't give it?
I can't give you the acrobatic style I used to give you 20 years ago, the way I used to give it now. I probably changed the style now. So things change. You're asking my question.
But you're getting older. The guy is getting older now. Unless you're talking about
in my case, the guy might not be getting older.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not married, so my guy cannot be getting older. I don't like to get older guy. You know, if you know what I mean. So you know, so just different things like that. Because sometimes, you know, I think we expect too much. And I know people talk about the size and everything. There are different ways you can please a woman or even please a man. It doesn't have to always be is it what they call it now? What's carnal sex? There are so many ways you can pleasure each other. Why do you always talk about the size? What are you doing with this size? A man can pleasure you in a man that is good at what he wants to do can pleasure in any way that you forget that he has one small thing he brought to the table. You know?
Can you explain?
Okay, if I'm dating the guy that wasn't well and as well endowed as I expected him to be, but he knew the use of a tongue, and I'll say no more.
Hi.
You know, so by the time he came with the small thing, what you're saying is, yeah, you know, so there are different ways you can do things to please people. You know, some people will touch your body like this. You can come just for touching your body. You can come because they ask. And so it's just things like that, you know. And because we will take communication, but when you come, some people say communication. Ask them, okay, what do you want? And the thing you did, I didn't like it. You're not communicating. You're just generalizing. The thing you did, I didn't like it. No, said what this particular style. It didn't give me joy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the question is when you're not finding.
I'll speak in a minute. Yeah. Ufuma, go ahead. Then you can out talk.
Okay, the question I understood at the beginning was, say you found your partner incompatible. Maybe this guy has tried everything, tried oral sex, tried everything, and in all areas, really has found him incompatible. As in, some old dogs can be taught new tricks, and she's tried probably doing things and learning, and then she's now found that if she stays on with this person, she's probably going to misery for the rest of her days. I think that was what I understood the initial question to be.
You're right. Yeah, that was it.
So
yeah, that was it.
Because me, my advice is look. If you have tried, especially if you're marriage, it certainly can't work. Better thing, take a walk, let everybody go home happy and then find themselves partners that can make them mutually compatible.
Yeah.
So I think. Because I noticed that the discussion is already veering off the initial poser that the story bordered on. So
okay, Ufuma, direct question to you. Assuming you're that young man who has been sorry, we can't continue in this relationship because you're not good enough for me in bed. How will you take it?
It can be heartbreaking, but let me tell you something. Sometimes if some doors don't close in life, you don't find your true calling. So where you're being told that look, you're just not good enough for
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me hear from Ikenna. Ikenna. I'll come to you in a minute.
Before Ufoma goes, all these things we are talking about, is it living at the beginning or afterwards? That's what I don't understand.
They are still dating. They never married.
Okay.
At every stage in the relationship. Yeah, it could be boyfriend, girlfriend before marriage and everything. Yeah. Ikenna, are you still there? Ikenna. Okay, while we wait for Ikenna. Ekene? Oh, Ikenna is back. Ikenna is on. Can I come to you? Can I go ahead?
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, Ikenna. Welcome to the show.
Hello there. No, I've been listening, and I think everyone is, you just made a point because, like my friend just said, asked just a few minutes ago, what stage are we talking about? So early stage, I think anything is possible. Of course, that's when you decide when you want to be with that person or not. But if you pass that stage, then you've made the decision, whether the size or whatever we talk about, you've made that commitment and you gotta stick to it. So it's not for me. It's we forget when we eventually do get into that relationship, for instance, and that better for better and for worse and everything. We just have to, understand.
String it up.
Yeah. It's about
to help you out what you just said.
Understanding.
Yeah, Ikenna. From what you just said, there's a question. There's a comment that came in. Someone asked, "What was the attraction from the beginning? What was the attraction? Would that attraction hold on the relationship?"
Remember, for some of us as well, I don't think it's all about sex. Okay. In as much as it does matter, but I don't think that is the end point, because when you meet somebody, we don't have sex before we fall in love, do we?
Sometimes
some people do.
Well,
you fell in love. You fell in love first.
You meet you don't have sex before you fall in love.
Most times when the sex they make you fall in love.
We do say love at first sight, yeah, and things like that.
Yeah.
So before you even, as a woman, and I can challenge all of you, before you sat down and spoke to your husband or boyfriend before, whatever, you had a connection. You liked him.
Yes.
So is that connection and strong enough to keep you when this other thing
exactly?
All right, Ekene, let's hear from Ekene. Ekene.
Thank you, Ekene.
Yes. Yeah. Ekene. Okay.
I greet everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Ekene. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm always being abused by IJ. He will always make me not to talk and tell everybody.
Though I thought you were in a bar today.
While I stay in the church, that place you're calling a bar is a church.
Apologies.
Please, what kind of church is that?
Jesus Church of God. Bar.
That's a good song.
Because of this topic, I went to a shop to buy a book. The name of the book is How to Understand a Woman.
Oh, wow.
And understand a man. How to Understand a Man, the cost of the book is 5K. While the other one for the woman is costing 50. I'm very positive. So
if I'm going to send you money, don't worry.
That one is very, to even carry it, you need to get a trolley to carry the book. How to Understand a Woman.
It's more voluminous.
Yes. I appreciate this topic a lot. But I don't know what to say because individuals we all have different.
Everybody's different.
Yes. But my request is that this topic should be repeated some other time because as we are listening and discussing, we also learn on how to carry on with our lives.
Thank you.
Maybe they might give an overtime. I
don't think overtime will be fine. I think.
I want to go back to church.
Okay.
I'm communicating from the church. Did you see
You know,
any
like they say, time flies when you're having fun. And we're actually having fun with this topic. I don't think we've even massaged enough.
I beg sometimes it should be repeated because I am learning a lot.
Yes. We do for information, most of our topic is on demand. When people give us topics and tell us, can we all talk about this? So I'm sure this will come back on demand again.
People in relationships should try and open up and voice out. Because if you don't voice out, nobody will know how to help.
And can I tell us as an experienced young man, how can we voice it out? Just let's do a role play. What do you expect a woman to say?
It depends on there are individuals that are very shy that cannot communicate. So if you're lucky and you cannot communicate and your partner sees that there is a problem, he should find a way and then bring it out from you. I know
that's the one thing people struggle with. Having that conversation. How do I start it? What do I, like Ati said, the artist said earlier, telling him I didn't like what you did to me. That is not communication because you've not really said what. And another key thing.
You must open up. You must open up and say something. If you don't say something, you will die in silence.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you my view. Let me give you my view about using sex as a deal breaker. I call it mumuish. I can be stupid sometimes. Out of sympathy, I'll stick to something that it's not even conducive for a very long time. Many people do. So I wouldn't think I want to look beyond sex and try to find another reason. But what happens is most times along the line in that relationship where you have decided to sacrifice your happiness or enjoyment, you find yourself being beaten. Exactly. Find yourself being taken for granted. So on that other side, that's why when people make outright decisions, I don't blame them. And I keep praying that I have that energy to make that decision immediately. It doesn't matter what you know. And to talk about size, in one sentence, it's well endowed doesn't mean highly skilled. So size shouldn't be an issue. Or for both parties, both the women and the men, size or shape or hanging or.
But where size matters, you know. Yeah. If I'm as I want to ask the question that you need to pick before you end the show. Yeah. As I want to ask the question about what if you guys didn't date before before the actual marriage? Yeah. If I may answer before, like if I can answer that, like Ifeoma just said, most times you try to wait it out. You try to figure out other things, you know what I mean, that can make it work. Like Ifeoma said it all in her last question, so in her last narrative, that at times you say, okay, maybe he's good in this, but you know, if the relationship is, most times when we go through relationship, like Ike said, kids come, marriage happens, work ends, unemployment, so many things happen. Sex is the only thing that can bind you together, and if you don't have that, trust me, there's nothing. You don't have anything now.
It's a bond.
Okay, someone asked about people in a Christian relationship, because all this sex is not, some people, they agree they won't have sex before marriage.
That's what I just answered, yeah.
No, someone said something that there's a connection. You don't have to sleep with somebody to have that connection, and that connection can keep you, and that's where communication comes into. When you're not having sex with somebody, I think it's easier to have deep conversations because everything you bring it to bear. So you can discuss all those things, and if there's a connection, I think you can carry you. But you should be ready, because it's a package, is not opened. It's what you see, you take it.
I had
after marriage, yeah. Because I know I have a friend that got married. They were Christians, and the guy did not touch her for 1 year. They had to annul the marriage because so many things that they didn't discuss. Yes, they went on a honeymoon. There was no sex. You know, it was
something is wrong to me. Any man that agrees to that, something is wrong.
Something is wrong. Seriously, it's not just something is seriously wrong. Either it's a down low on the low side.
Yes.
Or
here walking, or not means dangling down there.
So and that's the thing. A lot of people don't say a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because the guy
because
that
society will judge them.
The guy that talked about people that came to do tests, that's another thing. I know someone that happened to. I was in a hospital and they came to do their test. And the doctor told the woman first that the husband had low sperm count. And the woman said, don't tell my husband, that will kill him. And I met them a year later, they had a child. And I can bet you this woman did not tell the husband and went and got pregnant. So there are some things, there's no trust.
It's not trust, Osako. It's not, it boils down to that same thing I spoke about. Because you're trying to protect somebody's ego or protect them, you don't want them to feel bad. You want to conceal something. So now, who is the bad person there?
When you win an American, when you win a lottery or something, and you need to go and do tests, and the guy finds out that the child you've had for 10 years is not there. Well, how do you?
20 years, 30 years. Is that
really love? Did you protect the man? So that's it. You must bring everything to bear. You know, you should trust the person to. No news can kill someone unless your heart is so weak. You know, because I don't know. It's complicated.
Why is it if your heart is so weak? Even if your heart is so weak, let the doctor, like how Ike is, let Ike, being the technician or the doctor, tell you guys, this is what it is. You have a low sperm count, your ovaries are low. You know what I mean? So that you guys can make a uniform decision what to do. Do you want to?
That's why I wanted to say something. I could have one or two comments, then we'll go offline and carry on with overtime. Are you still there? There's why.
I'm here, sorry.
That's why I doesn't want to talk about sex. So she likes to
hey, Tom, leave me alone, Jenny. Anyway, my little input is just to answer the question, how do you start the conversation?
Okay.
So I had put in the chat there, one way is right after sex. You can tell your partner, you know, I really enjoyed the way you touched me there, how you move this way, this and that. If you guys have intercourse and he did or she did something that you like, that's one way to tell the person, you know, what the way you did it this time, I really like it. So that moving forward, the person will try and replicate what they did previously. That's one way. The other way is when somebody mentioned the moo thing. You find when your partner will be most receptive to that kind of conversation. You know, you learn the person, if you've lived with them for years or for months or whatever, you learn the person and you know when to approach them about that kind of conversation. And then you say, hey, you know, when we have sex, when we have intercourse, when we make love, can you just tell me what kind of things you like? And I will use that opportunity to tell you what kind of things I like. And I mean, you have to have an open relationship with open communication to begin with, to be able to discuss something like this. A lot of times marriages are flawed and nobody talks to each other. So it's difficult to bring this up anyway. You know,
do you think it's age? That age could help you bring that boldness to speak on the person's nature? What do you think?
Yes, I do. Yes, I think that as you get older, as you get more experience, you're more confident to say what you want and what you don't want. Yes, so age can have something to do with it. But besides the age, I also think it's your relationship with the partner. You guys are growing old together. I mean, what I liked 20 years ago may not apply today. You know, I'm constantly telling my husband, you know, let's do it this way, let's do it this way, because what we were doing before, it doesn't move me anymore. I'm getting older. You know, I need more than I needed 20 years ago. So that, what do you mean, really? Of course.
Yeah, I gave her an assignment to do it. I gave her an assignment.
Wait, though, you need more.
She listened to me.
So, I mean, what I mean by more is that it may not be the particular way we used to do it before. And you know, before when I just got married, you touch me. You know, I have orgasm with everything. But now, you know, I've had children. I'm getting older. So I prefer the foreplay,
if you need
all of that to come into place.
Thank you very much for being a part of today's show. Please, thank you. Let's talk more because it helps the relationship What you can't take or what you are not comfortable in, please shed it, leave it, and move on and give yourself that peace of mind. Don't kill yourself. Don't keep staying where you know you're not comfortable in. Let's talk, because I think that's the bottom line here. Talk, talk, talk. And whoever has been told, please accept it in good faith, manage your heartbreak, move on and find the next person.
Thank you for
it's
that.
Not
Whoever
easy.
has been told.
Thank you very much. And sit back for the overtime. We're not going
We love you guys.
We're taking notes. Oche is busy taking notes. We need to tell people how to start talking. Forget age. Small children, they open eye, they talk up. Brother, I don't like him. Do it the other way, bend my head. Bend me the other side. But be careful. Thank you. So we're going offline, IJ.